Stop scrolling. You weren't supposed to see this. Not today, not on the last day of October. If this message reached you, it means you passed something 99% of people failed. They tried to break your faith. They pushed your limits. They tested your patience, your purpose, your peace. But you didn't fall. You stood when everything around you told you to give up. That's why this moment isn't random. It's divine timing. You're hearing this because the universe chose now to reveal the truth. This is not a coincidence. This is your confirmation. Everything that fell apart was part of the alignment. Every delay, every loss, every silent night was preparing the stage for what's next. After tonight, the energy shifts. The version of you that suffered is gone. The version that's rising, unstoppable. But here's the twist. This isn't just a message, it's a signal. The final activation for the chosen. If you feel your heart racing right now, it's because your soul recognizes this moment. You didn't find this message, it found you. You started noticing it, didn't you? Those repeating numbers. 11:11 on the clock, 3:33 glowing on your phone in the middle of the night. You brushed it off at first, thought it was just coincidence, but deep down, something in you knew. Those weren't random signs, they were messages. Whispers from the universe trying to get your attention. Every flickering light, every feather in your path, every strange moment of déjà vu. It was all communication from the unseen. And then the people around you started changing. Some walked away without warning. Some turned cold. Some you thought would stay forever just disappeared. You felt confused, maybe even abandoned. But that wasn't chaos. It was recalibration. The universe was adjusting your frequency, removing everything that couldn't rise with you. You see, when you begin to evolve, energy can no longer hide. Truth starts exposing what's fake. You stop resonating with low vibrations. You stop chasing, begging, explaining, because your soul starts remembering its worth. It's not that people failed you. It's that their chapter in your story ended. You were being guided into alignment, not isolation. That loneliness you felt wasn't punishment. It was protection. The universe pulled you away from noise so you could hear your own calling. Everything that broke you was coded to build you. Every betrayal cracked your ego open so your spirit could breathe. Every delay was divine pacing, slowing you down so the right doors could unlock in perfect timing. And every heartbreak, it wasn't about losing love, it was about rediscovering your own power to love yourself. You had to lose what was temporary to remember what's eternal. You had to feel lost to realize you were never alone. Even the nights you cried in silence, they were training nights. You weren't breaking down, you were breaking open. You've been walking through fire, thinking it was destruction. But look closer. The fire didn't burn you, it refined you. You're not the same person who started this journey. Your energy is different now, sharper, wiser, unshakable. The lessons weren't punishment, they were preparation. Every single experience was a setup for your evolution. You were learning patience, surrender, and trust in unseen timing. The pain was never meant to end you. It was meant to activate you. And here's the truth, most people never realize. When everything in your life starts falling apart, it's because the old version of you is being dismantled. The universe can't build the new on top of the old, so it shakes the ground until you finally let go of what was never stable to begin with. You thought you were being tested. You thought you were failing. But here's the twist. The test was never to break you. It was to prove you already passed. Think about it. After everything you've faced, you're still here, still breathing, still hoping, still fighting for light. That's not failure. That's graduation. You passed when you didn't give up. You passed when you chose peace over drama. You passed when you forgave instead of retaliating. You passed when you walked away quietly instead of begging for closure. Every single time, you chose faith over fear. You were writing your name in the book of the chosen, and now you're stepping into the proof. The alignment is real. The energy has shifted. The ones who hurt you will soon see the glow they tried to dim. And you'll understand why it all had to happen this way. Because the truth is simple. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Every loss was direction. Every sign was confirmation. Every ending was the beginning of the life you were always meant to live. This month felt heavy, didn't it? 1 minute, everything seemed fine. And the next, it all started to collapse. October didn't move gently this time. It hit like a storm you didn't see coming. But that wasn't bad luck. It was the final test. This wasn't an ordinary month. It was a spiritual exam. The kind that doesn't show up on paper, but burns straight through your soul. It tested your patience, your trust, and your ability to stay centered when nothing made sense. You felt the pressure, the delays, the confusion, the sleepless nights. It was as if the universe itself was watching you, whispering, "Will you still trust me now?" Everything around you felt unstable. People changed, energy shifted, opportunities slipped away, and in those moments, you started questioning yourself. Did I mess up? Did I take the wrong turn? Why does it feel like everything's against me? But it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The angels weren't testing you to see you fail. They were testing you to see if you were ready to rise. Every obstacle you faced this month wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to expose the parts of you that still doubted your power. It pushed you to your limit, not to break you, but to prove that you can't be broken anymore. Think back. There were days when the silence felt endless, when the people you trusted didn't show up, when nothing you did seemed to work. That was the moment the real test began. Not outside you, but inside. The universe watched how you would respond when everything went dark. Would you panic, or would you trust the plan? Would you curse the storm, or would you remember that you were built to walk through fire? And here's what makes you different. You didn't run. You didn't give up. You took the hit, you felt the ache, and you still whispered, "I'll be okay." That whisper was your key. Because faith whispered in the middle of chaos is what separates the chosen from the rest. That's what opened the invisible door. October's chaos was never chaos. It was a filter to remove the ones who talk about faith from the ones who embody it. And you embodied it. You faced the test without realizing you were already passing it. Every time you stayed calm while the world tried to shake you, you were unlocking that hidden door. Every time you said, "I'll trust the timing," when nothing moved, you were proving your readiness. The final test wasn't about how strong you were when everything was perfect. It was about how grounded you remained when everything fell apart. It wasn't about achieving more. It was about surrendering deeper. And now that the storm has passed, look around. The air feels different, doesn't it? The weight that's been sitting on your chest all month is starting to lift. That's not coincidence. That's clearance. The universe is clearing the path ahead because you've proven you can walk it. The ones who panicked in the storm will have to repeat the lesson. But the ones who stayed calm, the ones who held their light through the darkness, they're stepping through that hidden doorway tonight. That door leads to restoration, to new beginnings that don't feel forced, to people who speak peace instead of pain, to blessings that fit you so perfectly, you'll wonder how you ever settled for less. And when that shift begins, when the opportunities, calls, and signs start flowing again, don't be surprised. You earned it. This wasn't luck. This was alignment. Because the truth is, the storm was never meant to stop you. It was designed to reveal you. The version of you that doesn't crumble under pressure. The version that trusts even when logic says not to. The version that knows something powerful is always waiting on the other side of surrender. October tested your soul to see if you were ready for November's promise. And now, as this chapter closes, the door that was locked for months begins to creak open. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became the energy that unlocks it. The ones who stayed calm in the storm, the ones who kept their hearts open while the world shifted. They've already crossed into a new frequency, and you're one of them. Tonight, that hidden door opens, and when it does, everything that once made you cry will make sense. Every unanswered prayer will reveal its reason, and every empty space will finally fill with what's meant for you. So breathe. You made it through the test. And this time, you didn't just survive, you ascended. They took people away from you, and at first, you couldn't understand why. You kept asking, why did they leave? Why did they change? Why did they stop caring? It felt unfair. You gave them loyalty, love, effort, and all you got back was silence. But the truth is, they were removed because you couldn't rise with their energy. You were leveling up, and they were holding on to versions of you that no longer existed. The universe saw it before you did, that if you kept carrying them, you'd never take off. Every ending that broke your heart was really a spiritual relocation. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. They didn't walk away because you weren't enough. They walked away because your frequency outgrew theirs. You stopped fitting into rooms that used to feel like home. You stopped relating to conversations that used to excite you. And slowly, your silence became your shield. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped begging to be understood. You realized that peace doesn't need an audience. It just needs alignment. That silence they mistook for weakness was actually transformation. It was your chrysalis phase. Quiet, isolated, but powerful beyond measure. Because while everyone thought you disappeared, you were in the background, rebuilding your soul, your purpose, and your power. Your peace became your proof. You no longer needed to prove your worth through words, because your energy started speaking louder than your presence. That's the real glow-up. When you no longer chase validation. When your calm becomes your comeback. Now your name is echoing in rooms you haven't even entered yet. People are speaking about you with curiosity. They're wondering how you're doing it, how you went silent and came back shining. They can feel your shift, even if they can't explain it. You became the energy they can't ignore. You moved from seeking attention to attracting opportunities, from explaining your vision to embodying it. And somewhere out there right now, someone who doubted you is watching your rise, confused, amazed, and humbled. They thought you were gone. They thought you were done. But you were just getting started. They don't realize the power that comes from losing everything fake. When you lose the wrong people, your soul finally has space for the right ones. When you lose the noise, your intuition gets louder. When you lose distractions, your purpose becomes crystal clear. That's the shift. From loss to launch. From endings to elevation. From heartbreak to higher calling. Every tear you cried watered the roots of your next chapter. Every sleepless night was an initiation. Every time you said, "I'm okay," when you weren't, you were passing another test. Because strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's in the moments when you choose peace instead of proving a point. It's when you let go of control and let the universe rewrite the story. And now, that story is turning in your favor. Things that once blocked you are now clearing. Doors that were closed are starting to open. You're being elevated to a level where your past can't reach you. But here's the twist. The same people who doubted you will need your energy next. The ones who laughed will look for your guidance. The ones who ignored your vision will quote your wisdom. And you'll smile, not out of pride, but out of peace. Because you'll finally understand. It was never personal. It was always spiritual. They were characters written to exit before the main story began. Their absence created the space for your abundance. Their silence taught you how to listen to your intuition. Their betrayal taught you discernment. The pain didn't destroy you, it refined you. It removed the noise so your purpose could speak. And now that you've stepped into alignment, the energy is shifting faster than ever. Synchronicities are increasing. Manifestations are accelerating. And the version of you that once begged for clarity is now walking in confidence. You're no longer chasing, you're attracting. You're no longer surviving, you're expanding. And the beauty is, you don't even need to prove it. Your glow speaks for itself. Because what's meant for you won't miss you. And what's not meant for you will fall away, no matter how tightly you hold it. You've learned to bless both. To thank the endings as much as the beginnings. To see rejection as divine direction. So when they circle back, and they will, you'll meet them with grace, not bitterness, because you'll know they played their role. And the only reason they couldn't stay was because your destiny required higher energy. That's the real shift, when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you." Because the losses were never losses, they were launches. Every goodbye was a gateway. Every breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise. And now, you're walking into the part of your story where peace is your power, and purpose is your payback. Out of billions of souls walking this earth, only a few make it to this level. Only 3%. And you're one of them. You didn't just survive what was sent to destroy you. You evolved because of it. Every storm that came to break you became part of your training. Every loss became your lesson. Every ending became your awakening. You've crossed from survival mode into creation mode. From being the observer of life to becoming the architect of it. The version of you that once begged the universe for signs has now become the sign for others. This is what the activation of the 3% feels like. A quiet certainty, a grounded knowing that you were built for something more. You no longer chase what's yours. You attract it effortlessly. You don't react to chaos. You command your peace. You've stopped explaining yourself to people who can't even hear your frequency. Because once you've faced your darkness and made peace with it, no one outside of you can control your light. You've become self-sourced, powered by purpose, not by validation. The 3% live by different laws. They understand that energy obeys direction, that thoughts are codes, that emotions are fuel, that silence is strategy. You've entered the realm where manifestation becomes momentum. You are no longer manifesting from desperation. You're manifesting from alignment. You no longer ask, "When will it come?" You say, "It's already mine." You've shifted from waiting to receiving, from hoping to knowing. Everything that once drained you has lost its access. Your boundaries are no longer walls, they're gates, and only energy that matches your peace is allowed in. But here's the twist. The universe is about to return Everything you lost, multiplied by 3. Everything that was taken, everything that fell apart, everything that slipped away when you thought you were cursed. It's all circling back with interest. Your health, your peace, your love, your money, all of it is being restored in divine order. Because you didn't lose it, it was just being recalibrated. The delay wasn't denial, it was preparation. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. You were being shaped for something so rare, only the 3% could handle it without losing their soul. This is your payback season, not through revenge, but through revelation. People will look at you and wonder how you did it, how you stayed calm when the storm hit, how you kept your faith when everything went silent, how you smiled when there was no reason to, and you'll know the answer. You passed the activation. You refused to give up on your light, even when it flickered. You refused to let pain define your story. And now, that story becomes your power. You've entered the timeline where everything aligns effortlessly. Opportunities will start finding you. Money will start flowing easily. The right people will appear as if by magic. Because when your energy rises, your reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. You are magnetic now, not because you forced it, but because you became it. You vibrate truth, peace, and certainty. And that's irresistible to the universe. And when that wave of blessing starts to pour in, remember, it's not luck, it's law. Energy returns to its source. You gave love, loyalty, and effort. Now all of it is rushing back multiplied by 3. So stand tall. You're part of the 3% who made it through the fire without turning bitter. You've turned your wounds into wisdom, your pain into purpose, your silence into strength. And now you stand at the gate of your next level. Calm, powerful, unshakable. The 3% don't wait for miracles. They become them. As the clock strikes midnight, October ends, and your new era begins. The final second of this month isn't just a moment, it's a spiritual reset. You can almost feel it, can't you? That quiet shift in the air, that sudden lightness in your chest. It's not your imagination, it's alignment. This entire month has been a storm of endings, lessons, and emotional earthquakes. But as October fades into memory, something sacred awakens. This is the moment where whispers turn into breakthroughs, and tears begin to turn into trophies. Every single thing you've been through, the waiting, the loneliness, the confusion, was part of the setup. The spiritual code that's been locked all year finally begins to activate tonight. The curse expires here. The heaviness lifts here. The door that refused to open finally responds to your energy. You've been in the cocoon long enough. You've cried enough, fought enough, questioned enough. You've proven your faith in silence, and now the universe is saying, it's time. At midnight, when the clock resets, so does your frequency. All the pain, all the false starts, all the near misses, they dissolve into light. Because none of it was wasted. It was all building pressure for your launch. You were never being held back. You were being timed perfectly. The universe doesn't rush miracles. It aligns them. And now, the alignment is complete. The energy that once felt blocked is about to move like a wave. Opportunities will start appearing out of nowhere. People meant for your path will find you. Doors that were once locked tight will swing open with ease. But here's the twist. You were never waiting for a miracle. The miracle was waiting for you to believe again. It wasn't about the timing. It was about your readiness. You had to reach this level of awareness, this level of peace, this level of power, you had to remember who you are. The light that doesn't beg to shine. The storm that doesn't ask permission to reign. You are the miracle. You are the energy shift the world needed. And tonight, that realization becomes real. As midnight approaches, I want you to breathe deeply. Close your eyes and feel your heartbeat, steady, strong, alive. That rhythm is proof that you still have purpose, that you're still chosen, that the story isn't over. It's restarting on a higher frequency. Whisper this softly to yourself, not as words, but as a declaration. I am ready for my return. I am chosen. I am light. Let those words echo inside you. Let them replace every doubt, every fear, every scar, because those words are a code. And the moment you speak them with belief, your reality begins to rearrange. The things you've prayed for are closer than you realize. They've been orbiting around your energy, waiting for the signal that you were ready. And tonight, you just sent it. The universe heard you. The ancestors heard you. The energy that left your life in pain is now returning as peace. Midnight isn't just the end of a day. It's the bridge between versions. The version of you that carried burdens will fade, and the version that carries blessings will rise. This is the rebirth you've been sensing for weeks. That restlessness wasn't anxiety, it was transformation. The storm didn't break you, it baptized you. The silence didn't punish you, it purified you. The waiting didn't delay you, it prepared you. And now, the reward begins. When the clock strikes 12, say nothing. Just feel. Feel the weight lift. Feel the peace settle in. Feel the light inside your chest expand until it fills the entire room. Because that light isn't new, it's ancient. It's the same divine spark that guided you through the darkness. It's the same energy that kept you alive when everything tried to end you. And now, it's time for that light to lead the way. You're not stepping into November as who you were. You're stepping in as who you were always meant to be. Whole, radiant, chosen, unstoppable. The curse expires tonight. The code unlocks tomorrow. And the miracle that once felt distant is about to become your reality. So when the clock hits midnight, don't wish, remember. Remember that you are the light. Remember that everything you lost is returning brighter. Remember that the universe never forgot your name. You've made it through the dark. Now, the dawn is yours. By tomorrow morning, you'll feel it. The shift, the calm, the unexplainable peace that lands in your chest like the first light of sunrise. It won't make sense at first. You'll just wake up lighter, freer, and more you than you've ever been. This wasn't the end. It was the exit. From the version of you that had to fight to be seen. From the energy that made you shrink just to survive. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Everything that fell apart was part of the rearrangement. Every goodbye, every delay, every heartbreak, it was never rejection. It was divine direction. The universe wasn't closing doors to hurt you. It was clearing the path for your rebirth. Tonight is the crossover. The old version of you fades quietly into memory. And the new one, the one built from grace, growth, and gratitude, rises. This is your rebirth. The moment your energy becomes undeniable, you'll notice it in small ways first. The tension in your body finally releasing, the sudden urge to smile for no reason, the way people start responding to your light differently. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. Because here's the twist. This video didn't show up randomly on your screen. It found you. It aligned with your frequency because your next chapter is ready to begin. Your timeline is shifting in real time. from waiting to receiving, from hoping to having. Everything you've been asking for is already circling your orbit. The peace, the purpose, the partnership, the prosperity. And now that your spirit is aligned, it all starts flowing in. This is not motivation, it's manifestation. You are stepping into the energy of proof. Proof that divine timing is real. Proof that pain transforms into power. Proof that endings are just disguised beginnings. So when the blessings start to appear, remember this moment. Remember that you didn't find this video. This video found you. Because the energy that guides the chosen never misses its mark. You passed the test. You survived the shift. And now, you rise. Welcome to your rebirth. Welcome to the era where your peace becomes permanent and your light speaks louder than your past.